please read and pay attention to the disclaimer on this slide. A straightforward way to appreciate the significance of the cost of equity is to consider it as the proportion of ownership a company must relinquish to secure funding. When a company issues new shares, it effectively dilutes existing ownership. This is a common practice for various financial needs, such as funding acquisitions or providing stock-based compensation to employees. To illustrate this concept, imagine you've just ordered a large pizza for yourself, expecting it to be enough. Suddenly, a friend arrives with a bag of peanuts. Despite your initial plan, you find yourself hungrier than anticipated and consider trading a slice of your pizza for a bunch of the peanuts. In figurative terms, companies that exchange for fewer peanuts are those generating returns below their cost of capital. This means that they are not earning enough to cover the expenses and risks associated with their financing. Conversely, companies that exchange for more nuts are those generating returns above their cost of capital, indicating they are generating sufficient returns to justify the risks taken by their investors. Understanding this is crucial for investing because the cost of capital directly influences ownership dilution. When a company issues new shares to raise capital but doesn't generate adequate returns, existing shareholders see their ownership percentage decrease, which can dilute the value of their investment. This sets the stage for a discussion on how new share issuances impact company ownership and shareholder value. Companies frequently issue new shares to fund various initiatives, a common practice in the market. When a company issues new shares, its total outstanding shares increase, leading to ownership dilution for existing shareholders. Let's examine how this works. Imagine you own 10% of a company, which translates to 10 million shares out of 100 million total outstanding shares. Suppose the company then issues an additional 25 million shares. This increases the total number of shares to 125 million. Your shareholding remains at 10 million shares, but now this represents only 8% of the company instead of 10%. This reduction in your percentage of ownership is a direct result of the new shares issued. Companies engage not only in issuing new shares but also in repurchasing existing ones. When a company buys back its shares, those shares are typically retired, effectively reducing the number of shares outstanding. Instead of issuing 25 million new shares, let's say the company decides to repurchase and retire 25 million of its existing shares. This action would reduce the total outstanding shares from 100 million to 75 million. If you owned 10% of the company before the repurchase, representing 10 million shares, you would find your ownership percentage increase to about 13.3% afterward because the total shares have decreased. This increase in ownership percentage is a big reason why stocks tend to jump up when companies announce stock buybacks. Technology companies are favored in the stock market for their substantial business growth, but they are also known for their extensive issuance of stock, often used for employee compensation. Consider Palantir, a prominent player in the high-growth cybersecurity sector. In 2020, Palantir reported having approximately 979 million shares outstanding. By 2022, this figure had surged to just over 2 billion shares, an increase largely attributed to the company's frequent stock issuances to compensate employees. Over the last 3 years, Palantir's total shares outstanding have increased by 111%, reflecting a significant dilution of existing shareholders. What has Palantir gained from significant share dilution? The company points to robust business growth. Indeed, from 2020 to 2022, Palantir's revenue surged by 74%, a notable increase. However, this growth pales in comparison to the 111% rise in shares outstanding, indicating a substantial dilution of ownership. Have shareholders received enough value to justify their reduced ownership stake? The answer may not be immediately clear. Palantir's strategic investments in its workforce and overall business are intended to pay off in the long run, suggesting that we will only know if the dilution was worth it over time. What happens when a company continually invests its capital into poorly performing projects? Consider a hypothetical scenario. Clueless Capital Corporation, a company notorious for funding ill-conceived ideas, frequently issues new shares to raise capital for these ventures. The CEO of Clueless Capital is full of innovative ideas. However, his track record is less than stellar. He's never in doubt. He's also never right. This example will underscore the risk of investing in companies that consistently fail to deliver adequate returns on capital. Now let's dive into what the CEO considers his first major breakthrough. Big idea number 1. The CEO calls the board of directors and tells them he has a great new idea. Baby wigs. Think about it. The wig market is underserved because no one is targeting the biggest segment babies. He's come up with this marketing slogan. They're bald, but they don't have to be. How many baby wigs do you think they sell? 0. They sell 0 wigs. A year passes. The CEO calls the board of directors again and tells them he has a new idea. The baby wigs idea was a complete failure, but this time he's come up with something really great. He just needs $25 million one more time. What's the really great idea? Hot dog drone deliveries. He wants to deliver hot dogs to people while they're out and about. He's come up with a truly amazing marketing slogan. Dropping deliciousness from the sky. How many drones do you think they sell? 0. They sell 0 drones. Ready for big idea number 3. Another year passes. The CEO once again calls the board with another new idea. Big surprise, he needs $25 million. He knows he's 0 for 2. But this one is going to be a hit for sure. Bottled air. Just like there's bottled water from all over the world, he wants to bottle air. What's his perfect slogan this time? Smells so real, you'll think you're there. The board is skeptical of this idea, so if this doesn't work, he's out of a job. How many bottles of air do you think they sell? 0. They sell 0 bottles of air. Clueless Capital Corp. Sells 2.5 million shares every year at $10 per share to finance investments in new projects. By the end of year 3, the number of shares outstanding increases from 10 million shares to 17.5 million shares. That's a 75% increase. As we discussed, every new product launch fails completely, producing 0 return. Accordingly, the company's revenue and net income don't change at all over the 3 years. Despite net income remaining static over 3 years, an increase in the number of shares outstanding will cause earnings per share, EPS, to drop by 43% from $2.50 to $1.43. Reflect on our pizza and peanuts analogy. The company essentially parted with nearly half of its pizza and gained nothing in return, not even peanuts. This underscores the importance of monitoring the returns on new investments made by companies. If these returns begin to decline, it will negatively impact earnings growth, which in turn can adversely affect the company's stock price. The cost of capital extends beyond complex formulas in finance textbooks. It's particularly crucial for high-growth sectors like technology, where companies often issue new shares to fund expansion. Investors should vigilantly monitor changes in a company's outstanding shares, assessing whether they are due to new issuances or buybacks. Issuing new shares risks earnings dilution if the capital raised isn't wisely invested, particularly if returns are lower than the company's cost of capital. This can reduce the value of existing shares. Case studies from companies like Palantir and Clueless Capital underscore the importance of watching share count increases, especially when they outpace revenue and profit growth. Understanding the cost of capital is essential for spotting companies that might not be using their capital effectively, potentially compromising shareholder returns.